Okay.
All right.
Here we are.
Welcome, Superintendent
My pleasure.
Beutner. Thank you for visiting our Mesas campus. This is for a podcast for our Mesas community here. My name is Mr. Nunez. By the way, we met on Saturday. Enjoyed the ride with you, the Tour de Austin.
That was a lot of fun. It was great day. Great day for me. I hope you had as much fun as I did.
Oh, I did. It was a beautiful ride through the city. And what did you think about that ride, by the way?
I thought it was, listen, it is seeing the communities we serve on a bike is the best way to see people and be part of the community. I enjoy most mornings. I get up, I get some kind of exercise, generally a bike ride. It's great. The only challenge I had Saturday, now I got to figure out how to use cryptocurrency so I can buy back the footage of me at Mariachi Plaza dancing.
Cryptocurrency at Mariachi Plaza. I didn't know. All right. Awesome.
No, it was actually the mariachis and me dancing. But my son, who came with us on the ride, said, if you can come up with enough crypto, I'll give you back the footage I took of you dancing.
Dancing. God, he bribed you, God.
Yeah.
That was
It's
fun.
holding it
Right.
ransom hostage. But
Yeah,
did you have
it
fun?
was. I did. I enjoyed it. Got to ride with some pretty amazing people. So we actually have some questions from students. We kind of planned this ahead of time, and my wife works at Gage Magnet Middle School, and some questions that they asked are, obviously, do you ride every day? Because that seems to be a big hobby of yours, or no?
I get out as often as I can. I like to do something in the morning, kind of sets my equilibrium. I get up early. I'm an early riser. I'll check an email or two, hop on a bike, go for a run, go for a swim, take a surfboard out in the ocean, do something to get my body going.
There it is.
I try to get home in time to have breakfast with my kids, and after that, it's whatever comes is great.
That's the secret then,
Yep.
huh? Staying active, huh?
Yep. Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. Healthy body, healthy mind.
So I have a student named Claudia Gamino. She's in my homeroom F, and she asks, is your job stressful?
There's a lot that comes at you. My wife likes to refer to me, though, as a stress giver, not a stress getter.
Okay.
And what I try to do is just make sure we know where we're going, and that takes away, it gives you some clarity of purpose and takes away a lot of the stress. The analogy I'd use is think about when a toddler learns to walk.
Mm-hmm.
They bump into stuff because they're looking at their feet. That's where they think walking is. And so their day is full of stress because they're always going to bump into the sharp corners on a table. And if you watch an elite marathoner run, they're just gliding over the pavement because they're looking 100 yards down the road. And I find for me, the best way to deal with all that comes at you is just pick that true north, pick that horizon you're trying to get to in whatever it is in life, and you got a pretty good shot at getting there.
Oh, that's cool. And then here's another question, which I think Claudia Gamino is going to work for LAUSD in the future. She says, how do you come to agreements?
It actually ties into how do you deal with where you want to get to. Most of the time, people want to get to the same place.
Right.
They might have a different path to get there, a different approach to get there, but if you got that same goal in mind, not so hard to get to an agreement. If you don't have that same goal in mind, much harder.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't have the same common understanding of the facts, kind of hard to get there sometimes. So get your facts right, agree on what goal you're trying to get to, and more often than not, everybody's working toward that same goal. You can get them to come along with you.
That's going to be great. That's going to be great advice for our kids. And then also, how do you feel after this past year with this, with our situation?
I'll start with tired, but then I'll add quickly proud. If you look at what we've been able to do working together, 86,000 hardworking women and men in schools, making sure we took care of the families. We were that safety net. We provided more than 130 million meals to children and adults who needed them. We made sure 500,000 students had a computer and internet access. We've created the largest school-based COVID testing operation in the nation, almost 2 million tests provided to students, staff, and their families. We provided COVID vaccine, first for those who work in schools, then for the families we serve. Now that vaccines are eligible for children that we serve, we're making them available in schools. So I'm really proud that we've been able to stand up, find a problem, and find a solution, not just talk about it. So I'm really proud of the work that so many in schools have done this past year, and I hope families feel and understand we are here to support them through thick and thin.
Wow, and it shows. I think we've seen a lot of our students and families come together and actually come back to school to some normalcy because of that, right? So thank you. And now we have Emily Mojica here. She's a class of 2021. She's got a couple questions for you.
Well, it's nice to see you, Emily, and I'm an honorary member of the class of 2021. I graduate June 30th.
Oh, that's right.
We're both on to something different, but I know you're going off to something fantastic, right? USC, computer science, business, and something else?
computer science and business administration.
You don't idle well either. That's a big, but it sounds like you're up to it, and wish you the best of luck.
Can you stand right here, Emily? We just want to get you in the shot there. There you go. You can pull it just a little. There you go. Help her out, Jesus. There you go. All right. There you go.
Well, first of all,
Look.
thank you. Oh, sorry. First of all, thank you for all the work you've done for LAUSD and all of its students. And we're sad that you're going to go, but what advice do you have for the next superintendent?
My advice for the next superintendent is a couple-fold. First, just remember the answer's already in the classroom. It's already in the school. So if you listen carefully, you'll hear the answer. And what I've tried to do since I joined the school district is to make sure those who had the answer, those who were working in the school, had what they needed to do what they thought needed to be done. And so if we've done nothing else, I think we've made the district right side up again, where schools and the students they serve are at the center, not this big bureaucracy. Because Los Angeles Unified is big. It's 700,000 students, 700 square miles. And when I started, I think the intent of the district was to find an answer that worked for everybody. I don't think it's possible. I think the other way around is to find something that works for Emily and make sure that your teacher, your counselor, your custodian has what they need to help you get to that place. So my advice is remember the answer's already in that classroom in the school and find a way to make sure they have the resources they need to provide that help to the student.
And as superintendent, you constantly have to make really big decisions for the second largest school district in the country. So how has your decision-making process changed this year compared to the previous years?
Boy, that's a good question. My guess, I think there's a better or an increased sense of urgency. And I talk a lot with my colleagues about us taking this COVID mindset to everything we do. So think about going back March more than a year ago. We decided to close schools before there was any occurrence of the virus in schools and before the state or county had issued any guidelines. But we knew it was the right thing. We did it. We did it in that moment. We acted. We acted to make sure we bought every computer Apple had anywhere in the country. We went to them and said, will you clean out your stores in Kansas to make sure that we have computers we need for our students here? We made the decision to provide meals to children and adults, something school districts hadn't done before, but we thought needed to do. And if we look at where we are now, if we take that same COVID mindset to making sure students have what they need to read. We look back a year ago in August of last year, we knew kindergartners last year had their spring cut short. Schools closed because of COVID. Kind of hard to learn to read online. We saw those same students coming into first grade were struggling. We decided right then and there, we hired 200 more reading teachers whose only job was to focus on students who were struggling. By the middle of the school year, they'd caught up with their peers. So it's kind of taking that COVID mindset. In the past, it might have taken us months and years to think about it, study it, have a bunch of meetings. We knew it needed to be done. The students needed help. And so I think if we can take the approach to decision making, which is do your homework, find out what you think needs to be done, and do it now with some sense of urgency, because the class of 2021 or the class of 2022 or the class of 2032 are sitting somewhere in a classroom right now, and they can't wait for us to just contemplate our neighbor. They need something done now, and if we take that sense of urgency, they're going to be better served.
And can I ask, is there a particular moment or story that stands out that kind of hit home for you in terms of, that put a new perspective on education for you? I mean, teachers, we've heard all kinds of stories, heartbreaking stories, but for you particularly, dealing with all the little, schools and high schools and middle schools, is there something that just stood out to you that just kind of like, wow?
Boy. We serve 650, 700,000 students, and everybody has a story. Every family has a story. I think the through line has been the importance of making sure we do right by them. And along the way, a family who we provided food during this crisis and hearing their story. A family who is able to use the connection. For the first time, students taking technology home, we actually can talk to them all the time. Seeing what they did with that. The 5,000 students we sent free guitars from Fender to participate in a music program just when they were feeling their most isolated and alone could now connect. A family, we started doing vaccinations at schools. I had seen the same family at Christmas. We were passing out food. I was a not-so-secret Santa passing out food and gifts. By the time we started vaccinating families about 3 months later, I met the same graduating senior, her father and her brother, and unfortunately she lost her mother and another brother due to COVID just in those 3 months. So the need is real. The importance of education has never been made more real, and I could spend days and weeks with you sharing the stories, but I think the through line is, I hope, a greater recognition for the broader community of Los Angeles for the important work that's done in schools every day.
Oh yeah, things have definitely changed, right? And a heartfelt thanks from myself, my community, Maces, for what you and your staff has done in providing all those services, vaccines. Yeah, I think it's just brought us closer too. So with that, I always ask one last question for people who are retiring. I always like asking this question. Closing June 30th, what's the first thing you're going to be doing the day after you retire? Because I always look forward to that too.
Boy, the first thing, well, I don't idle well. So whether it's getting up maybe 5 minutes later for that bike ride, I got a big stack of books that I haven't been able to get to. I'll probably get to one of those.
There you go.
I'm a son, husband, father, so a few more minutes with my family. But I don't idle well, so I'll probably relatively quickly find a way to continue to help others. There's no greater reward, I think. One of the things I enjoy so much about being around people who work in schools, it's a mission-driven organization. Nobody comes to work at a school who doesn't want to see children get help, and I love that. So I'll miss that, but I hope to find a new way to scratch that itch and find a way to make a difference.
Well, you enjoy that retirement, sir, and thank you for your time and visiting us here at Maces.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to say.
One picture, if you don't mind.
Yes, come on in. What did you want to say? Oh.
That's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening.
And I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either.
So they brought a ringer, Tony Cruz. Yeah. But we're gonna get out to Malibu with Tony, and then. Oh, come on! I don't think he could have lost it.
No, yeah.